Hey everybody, back here again for another video. It is my second video of the day, and it's still December 2nd. So, you know what that means? We did Genesis chapter 17 earlier this evening, and now we move on to Genesis chapter 18. This is called The Three Visitors. The Lord appeared to Abraham near the great trees of Mamre while he was sitting at the entrance to his tent in the heat of the day. Abraham looked up and saw three men standing nearby. When he saw them, he hurried from the entrance of his tent to meet them and bowed low to the ground. He said, "If I have not found favor in your eyes, my lord, do not pass your servant by. Let a little water be brought, and then you may all wash your feet and rest under this tree. Let me get you something to eat, so you can be refreshed and then go on your way, now that you have come to your servant." "Very well," they answered. "Do as you say." So Abraham hurried into the tent to Sarah. "Quick," he said, "get 3 seahs of the finest flour and knead it and bake some bread." Then he ran to the herd and selected a choice, tender calf and gave it to a servant, who hurried to prepare it. Then he brought some curds and milk, and the calf that had been prepared, and set these before them. While they ate, he stood near them under a tree. "Where is your wife Sarah?" they asked him. "There, in the tent," he said. Then one of them said, "I will surely return to you about this time next year, and Sarah your wife will have a son." Now Sarah was listening at the entrance to the tent, which was behind him. Abraham and Sarah were already very old, and Sarah was past the age of childbearing. So Sarah laughed to herself as she thought, "After I am worn out and my Lord is old, will I now have this pleasure?" Then the Lord said to Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh and say, 'Will I really have a child now that I am old?' Is anything too hard for the Lord? I will return to you at the appointed time next year, and Sarah will have a son." Sarah was afraid, so she lied and said, "I did not laugh." But he said, "Yes, you did laugh." When the men got up to leave, they looked down towards Sodom, and Abraham walked along with them to see them on their way. Then the Lord said, "Shall I hide from Abraham what I am about to do? Abraham will surely become a great and powerful nation, and all nations on earth will be blessed through him. For I have chosen him, so that he will direct his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord by doing what is right and just, so that the Lord will bring about for Abraham what he has promised him." Then the Lord said, "The outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is so great, and their sin so grievous, that I will go down to see if what they have done is as bad as the outcry that has reached me. If not, I will know." The men turned away and went toward Sodom, but Abraham remained standing before the Lord. Then Abraham approached him and said, "Will you sweep away the righteous with the wicked? What if there are 50 righteous people in the city? Will you really sweep it away and not spare the place for the sake of the 50 righteous people in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing, to kill the righteous with the wicked, treating the righteous and the wicked alike. Far be it from you. Will not the judge of all the earth do right?" The Lord said, "If I find 50 righteous people in the city of Sodom, I will spare the whole place for their sake." Then Abraham spoke up again, "Now that I have been so bold as to speak to the Lord, though I am nothing but dust and ashes, what if the number of the righteous is 5 less than 50? Will you destroy the whole city for lack of 5 people? If I find 45 there," he said, "I will not destroy it." Once again he spoke to him, "What if only 40 are found there?" He said, "For the sake of 40, I will not do it." Then he said, "May the Lord not be angry, but let me speak. What if only 30 can be found there?" He answered, "I will not do it if I find 30 there." Abraham said, "Now that I have been so bold as to speak to the Lord, what if only 20 can be found there?" He said, "For the sake of 20, I will not destroy it." Then he said, May the Lord not be angry, but let me speak just once more. What if only 10 can be found there? He answered, For the sake of 10, I will not destroy it. When the Lord had finished speaking with Abraham, he left, and Abraham returned home. Wow, what an incredibly deep dialogue between Abraham and God there. And it's such a fundamental question that Abraham is posing when God is speaking about how he intends to destroy the city of Sodom, which is it God's justice when the righteous are come along for the ride with the wicked for punishment? One of the main examples I can see of this in real life, because obviously when you look at whole cities getting destroyed, we live in a fallen world, and it's hard to often attribute that to God directly in our minds, but the sins of a father affecting his children. You say, is that really fair that the actions of a father go on to affect his kids? And that's basically, a microcosm of the discussion that Abraham is having with God and the questions that he's posed to him. So yeah, very interesting chapter. And I think it's interesting that God keeps accepting his requests. And, you can kind of extrapolate the argument to say, is it right for just one righteous person to suffer at the cost of punishing many of the wicked? And I think what God is saying, and his answer is that he would have kept going down to one person. So he would have eventually said, if I find just one righteous person in Sodom, I will spare the entire city. So I think that shows that God's justice, in his divine wisdom, does actually spare the innocent from the punishment that comes to the wicked when they're in proximity. So, yeah, again, we have to assume that the argument could keep going and Abraham could pose that question of what if it was just one righteous person, but given the momentum he had and God kept agreeing, if he's willing to go from 50 to 10, he's probably going to be willing to go to 1. And I think that is why Moses, when he wrote this book, included that full discussion and to show that yes, God would just save the city if there was one righteous person in it. Wow, what a great book. And yeah, what a deep, thought-provoking question that is. Why do the innocent suffer because of the wickedness of others around them in their lives? Wow. Okay, I think that's going to be it for tonight. I'm going to try and go to bed earlier. It's not even 11 o'clock yet, and just as part of living a healthy lifestyle. And just general advice, guys, go outside. Being outside is so wonderful. I mean, just enjoying nature. It's one of God's greatest gifts, and we take it for granted today because of, technological advancement. We're in our phones all the time, but, if you just put this thing down and, see the trees and the sun shining through the clouds, I mean, that's more dopamine than I'll ever get from this thing, to be honest. Okay, I hope you all have an incredibly blessed night. Thank you again for watching and the likes. I'm starting to see some likes. Glad people are liking the videos. And God bless you. Again, bye.